Hello and welcome to my channel where we make gourmet tasting cakes using a box mix. Today marks our third episode of our Halloween extravaganza, and it is personally my most anticipated episode of this month because today is for all you Harry Potter fans. We are making an official Warner Brother Butterbeer inspired cake. So stick around while we make something boxed, but better. So I had to work a little magic of my own, but I was able to get this bottle all the way from the UK because, as I said, I want it to taste as close to the official Harry Potter Butterbeer as possible for all you diehards out there. So let's take a look at the ingredients list and you'll understand the method to the madness of this recipe.
Looking at the ingredient list, it seems small, but also surprising. For example, I was surprised to see pear juice listed not once, but twice, suggesting that it's a pretty big staple in this drink. Also, I noticed the fermented ginger root and ginger root were listed as well. This reminded me of the times in the book where Harry described the butterbeer as a warm and comforting drink, since ginger has natural warming properties of its own. I was not surprised to see the apple, since it is very commonly used in a lot of juices, and the carrot I am theorizing is more for color than actual flavor. The hibiscus is what surprised me the most. When I was drinking the butterbeer, I decided to taste it first before looking at the ingredient list to see if I could guess some of the flavors that I was tasting. And I kept tasting something that seemed floral, but it was not vanilla. When I checked the back, I was very surprised to see the hibiscus, and also figured it must be heavily used since I could actually taste it. Now that we've broken down the ingredients, let's get to our cake.
Let's kick things off by preheating our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit.
In a large bowl, we are going to add 1 white box mix. Next, we are adding 1 package of instant butterscotch pudding, 3 large eggs, and a ½ cup of apple-pear sauce. If you cannot find apple-pear, you can just use regular applesauce. Now let's spice things up with 2 teaspoons of ground ginger. After that, we are adding 1 full tablespoon of pure vanilla extract. I know it may seem like a lot, but believe me, it will make this taste amazing. Now to really bring out the luscious flavor in this cake, we are adding 3 tablespoons of hibiscus extract. For our liquid, we are adding 1 cup of pear juice. I had a hard time finding pear juice on the regular juice aisle at my grocery store, and then I realized it was because they have it on the baby food aisle. Mix this together on medium speed for about 1 minute. In a microwave-safe bowl, combine 1 cup of butterscotch chips and 3 tablespoons of milk. I am using heavy cream, which you can also use. The cameraman had a bowl of cereal and used the last of my milk, but either one is good. Then microwave while stirring every 15 seconds until melted. This will only take about 30 to 45 seconds before it becomes fully melted. Slowly pour your melted butterscotch chips into your batter while stirring. Continue mixing for about another 2 minutes. Pour your cake batter into 3 8-inch round cake pans. You can also use 2 9-inch round cake pans. Honestly, you can even pour this into a quarter sheet, also known as a 13 by 9. Just know that your baking time will vary depending on which pan you use. Smooth out your batter evenly in your pans, and it is time to put these butterscotch beauties in the oven. Now it's time to make our icing. In a large microwave-safe bowl, combine a ½ stick of unsalted butter and 1 cup of butterscotch chips. Microwave this and stir every 15 seconds until it becomes fully melted. Let's give our icing a warm flavor by adding a ¼ teaspoon of ground ginger. Next, we are adding 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and 2 teaspoons of hibiscus extract. Give your extracts a quick mix into your melted butterscotch chips to help cool it down a little. Now it's time to add 1 pound of powdered sugar. Then we are adding 1 tablespoon of apple juice and 2 tablespoons of pear juice. Next we are going to mix this together until it begins to cool a little bit, and after that we will add another 2 tablespoons of pear juice. Mix together on medium speed for about 2 minutes until your icing becomes smooth and creamy. When it's done, cover it with plastic wrap and set to the side. It has been 30 minutes and our cake layers are done. There are 2 ways to check to see if it is done. First is the poke test. Poke with your finger, and if it does not leave an indent, it is done. The other is the toothpick test. Insert a toothpick, and if it comes out clean, you know your cake is done. Now we will set aside our cake layers to let them cool. Now it is time to fill our layers. Give a nice dollop of icing, and doing the side-to-side motion with your butter knife or decorator spatula, spread it out evenly. Repeat the same with the next layer. I noticed that my second layer had a bit of a high hump, so I cut it off with my bread knife to make it more flat and even for the third layer. Using my bread knife, I am also going to go down the edges of the cake and just shave a little bit off to even up the layers. That way everything will have a smooth and finished look on the sides. Once we have finished cutting our edges, it is now time to do the crumb coat. This cake is a little more soft than my other cakes, so I'm going to show you how to make a crumb coat mixture. A crumb coat mixture is a thinned down version of the icing you are using for your cake. Spoon about 1/2 cup of icing into your bowl, and then proceed to thin it down with about 1 tablespoon of pear juice. Stir it together and you'll notice that your mixture becomes much thinner. Now we have the perfect crumb coat mixture for our cake. You can see how thin this is. It coats absolutely perfectly around the edges of our cake. Remember, this is a crumb coat, so we want it to be thin. All it is going to do is catch the crumbs. Once you have finished your crumb coat, place it in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes until it becomes completely cool. Then we can give it our final layer of icing. It has been 20 minutes and our icing has completely cooled. You can see that it does not come off to the touch. Now it will hold our final layer of icing perfectly. Go around the top one time to smooth it down. I'm using my butter knife to straighten out the corners by taking the overhanging icing and pulling it down toward the sides of the cake. After that, I am going to straighten up the side by lightly gliding over it with my butter knife. Now for my favorite part, decorating the cake. Remember, decoration is completely up to you. I've decided to represent all of the Hogwarts house colors by taking a little bit of gel food coloring on the edge of my knife and then smearing it gently up the sides of my cake. I loved the way that it looked so much that I decided to go all the way up the edges of my cake. Then using a wet butter knife, I smoothed the corners of my cake again. Using a piping bag with a star tip, I am squeezing and slowly pulling up to give these adorable little peaked stars. I am representing the house colors again with some fun sprinkles. I'm curious, what house do you think you would be in? As much as I would love to be a brave Gryffindor, I think I'm a Hufflepuff, just because I really don't like seeing anybody feel left out, and I know that Hufflepuff herself also loved including everyone, so I have a lot of respect for her. However, I think my cameraman would argue that I'm in Slytherin, something about me being sneaky and conniving. I don't know what he's talking about. For the border, I am pulling out the color of the butterscotch icing by adding butterscotch chips. It is simple, and yet somehow fancy. I really like it.
And there you have it, our magical butterbeer inspired cake. Thank you for joining me. I had a fantastic time and I hope you did too. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section below and I will do my best to answer them, and I will see you next time on Boxed But Butter with Jenna. And it is my personal most anticipated episode of the month of October because, let me see.
I'm a nerd.
Because I'm a nerd. Shut up. There's got to be a more eloquent way of saying that.